Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and maybe even start a Lego set. And of course, I'm here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker, you can just go ahead and lurk. Aristofan is here. Welcome, Aristofan. Happy to have you here. It is a Monday. It was a holiday in the United States, Memorial Day. So some people were off work. Some people still had work. Some folks barbecued or grilled or went to the movies or just hung out or caught up on housework bullshit or hey, Lord Gratian, welcome. Maybe you went about your day and you kept forgetting it was a holiday. So you checked the mail twice because you were like, it's 4 o'clock. The mail should be here by now. And then you're like, wait, no, the mail's not coming. Or you were like, you found out a random business you did not expect to have take the day off, took the day off. And you're like, well, this is inconvenient, but I am thrilled that these workers are not at work. That's great. But it is inconvenient for me, someone who didn't plan ahead. Perhaps that's your day. Or maybe you're like me and you just did whatever and you read a lot of comics and replied to emails and then you grilled burgers and hot dogs out for you and your folks on the grill outside. Maybe you're like me. I didn't have any hot dogs. I had 2 cheeseburgers today and they were good. When it comes to grilling, I keep it simple, friends. I use a charcoal chimney so that I don't have to use lighter fluid or the kind of charcoal where like the match strike charcoal that's basically just covered in lighter fluid. So I just use the charcoal chimney. Pro tip from your friend Pat. As we're waiting for people, we'll see if a few more folks want to join us tonight. I can give you a professional tip from your friend Pat. If you use a charcoal chimney where you have the container and then you stuff newspaper in the bottom and you put coals in the top, the newspaper lights the bottom coals. As the coals burn, they start lighting the ones above it. And then when you dump it, everything is ready to go. I got 2 pieces of advice. One, it's okay if the top layer of coals hasn't started burning yet, because when you dump all the coals, those will catch by the coals around them that are hot. So you don't have to wait for the whole thing to go before you dump them over, because then the bottom coals might be completely exhausted. And the second tip is, make sure you know what kind of charcoal you are putting in your charcoal chimney. Because one time I was at a picnic with a lot of people. I was moving around. Someone brought more charcoal. Great. Rip the bag open, dump it into the charcoal chimney. It was still hot from using it previously. Light it, and then apparently that was matchstick charcoal. So that's charcoal that is treated with lighter fluid. And it was a very tall, incredible flame that came out of that. And by the time I was able to dump the coals, a lot of them were expired. And it was wild. And people were like, what's wrong? What's happening? And I was like, I need to read the bags when people buy me charcoal. And then from that point on, didn't make that mistake again. But that is a life lesson that I can impart to you, the viewers of the Build with Bear workshop. Speaking of which, we are finishing tonight. We are going to attempt to finish the Gundam Astray gold frame Amatsu Mina. It's a mouthful of a model kit. We're going to finish that kit up, work on the backpack and the weapons, complete that kit, take a look at all its various forms, and then, if time permitting, we will begin the Lego City electric sports car. This is a kit bought by Chris off my Amazon wish list. It is a 95-piece kit. It will take me no time to build. So if we start it, we might even finish it tonight. I love the back of this. I love this electric car. I love that it comes with its little solar-powered charger. That's very fun. This is a neat little build. Lego City. Lego City has some fun stuff. And if miraculously I finish this, I completely build that Lego set, I know what I'm building next. I don't think we'll get to it tonight, but I am aware of what I'll be working on after that, if that came up. Just a reminder, we are currently at 35 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up at 50 about that. You can see up in the corner there. We should have a nice bright surface to work on here tonight as we continue to work on this kit. At the end of tonight's stream, we will be raiding Plastic Model Weekender because at 11 p.m. they will have their closing ceremonies. So we won't see any building, but we will see a bunch of different streamers showing up. They'll be talking about some of the prizes that happened, some of the giveaways. We'll get in for like the last couple minutes of the final streamer, and then it'll just be party time. And I felt like, why not join that party since we raided on Saturday? I did not take part in this year's Plastic Model Weekender. We did raid. I am going to be doing a, as of now, unannounced charity event later in the year, and I only have the bandwidth to do one charity event a year. So I decided to make room for some new builders, some new streamers that wanted to come in and join, and so I stepped aside since I have done it previously. I will most likely be back in the future to do plastic model kit building and hanging out. I don't think I could stay away for too long because I really enjoy Plamo and what it does. So we will raid Plamo at the end of the night. I'll be honest, folks. I hope more people show up to the stream tonight. It would be nice if more people came. Thank you to everybody that is here and watching. I appreciate you very much. But, you know, I like when people are here and watching. It's nice. Before we get into conversation about a bunch of different things, get into some news items and the like, I will just say that my stream tomorrow, Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, is me returning to the wonderful world of the glorious world of Power Wash Simulator. We are going to go to Power Wash Simulator Town. We are going to finish, if I can, the final stage of the Warhammer 40K expansion, the DLC, I should say. I never got around to finishing it. I have meant to do it, and I just didn't do it. So I would like to finish that, and I feel like if I streamed it, it would encourage me to actually do that. Lord Crown says, I see that Mary Kish isn't streaming tonight due to the holiday. Nice. Yeah, I mean, good for her. So we're going to have to stream raid somebody else, so we might as well raid a cool charity stream that's also model kit building, because we don't raid model kit builders that often, because the ones that I follow and pay attention to don't often stream later than I do. They often stream earlier than me, or at completely different, nowhere near when I stream. Lord Crown says, I just finished that the other day. Oh, nice. Yeah, I have been meaning all this time to finish that stage of Power Simulator, and then I realized, well, I could just try to finish it on stream. That might go well. And then if we do finish it before the stream's over, then we can jump into something else or go to free play, or we'll find something fun to do in Power Wash Simulator. Can show off all the different various DLCs, paid and free. There's another free coming at some point. There's going to be more paid. I don't know what they're going to be, if they'll be licensed. My assumption is paid DLCs will be licensed DLCs, and they won't do a paid pack that doesn't have a licensed property behind it. I don't know that for sure, but that seems to be the thing, that they'll do like a summer pack that is just kind of like related to whatever stuff they've been thinking about building as they try to, get more sales on the game, and then they'll have their big DLC that is paid, that is, some kind of thing. And they've had a wide variety of stuff. I mean, it's like the stuff that was part of the Square Enix when they were investing in indies. So you have your Tomb Raider and your Final Fantasy VII, which is fun. I would love like a different Final Fantasy. I think a different Final Fantasy would be neat, but I feel like that's probably that ship has sailed. And then of course, Back to the Future and Warhammer and SpongeBob, all very different, very, very different. So it is a very, very different approaches. And the hope would be, so we've talked about this before. What would I like to see Power Wash Simulator expansion be? My number one thing would be Persona, particularly Persona 4. That's the one I would want, Persona 4. Um, but recently I thought that it might be neat to do Jurassic Park. I think there are enough vehicles in Jurassic Park. You could even do like a stuffed dinosaur. Like you could do something like that. The park sign or something like that. Like maybe like the wreckage of one of the Jurassic Parks, and you're like in a warehouse cleaning up a bunch of historic stuff. And so you got to power wash or whatever, or someone's office, and then there's uh, the amber of the dinosaur blood and all that. I don't know. There's something about that I think could be neat. So that is my recent answer. My new answer when someone says like, what other licenses should they get? I think that could be fucking cool. I don't know. I got a couple little anime news before we get into wrestling. Lord Crashton says, I was checking the Power Wash Simulator Twitter account, and they'll have an announcement at IGN Live, whenever that is. Yeah, so that's, I believe, around Summer Game stuff. I believe, but don't quote me on that. Basically, hey, July is right around the corner, and July is new anime month. So that'll be the summer anime season is coming in July. And we don't have much information about some returning stuff. I don't have much to say about here, but I will say if you've let it lapse, it might be time to renew your subscription to High Dive for July, because Oshinoko will return. Season 2 of Oshinoko will be out, so make sure you're up for that, because that is one of the best shows of the last year, and season 2 is coming out about as soon as I would expect, because that shit was hot fire. That shit did real well. The idea that people would be amped for more of that makes total sense to me. So that's coming back. I'm excited for that. I have not let my high dive. I was saying I was planning on letting my high dive elapse, but then there was one show this season that I was like, I really want to watch this, and now I've been catching up on some other stuff, and then also, I always kind of want to have High Dive just ready to go, because I get in the mood for Non Non Biyori, and they have all of the seasons of Non Non Biyori, and also they have the movie, and I don't watch the movie as much. I guess IGN Live is an 8-hour stream that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of Summer Game Fest, so it could be any point that weekend. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out at some point. I'm certainly not going to watch all of those hours of IGN Live. That's just not going to happen. I don't need to do that. But they'll tweet it out when they make that big announcement. We'll find out. We'll all know. So Oshinoko season 2 coming out in July. So that's awesome. They put out a key visual art, which is them in costumes. So there may be some more acting in movies and such. But yeah, there's a show within the show called Tokyo Blade. So that's cool. So we're going to see some character acting in this one. But yeah, second season coming. And then also there is a sequel series to Mashal. Sequel anime to Mashal. And that is believed to be in July. So more Mashal coming. Mashal, Magic and Muscles. That's a fun show. I think that when the manga came out, I was pretty invested in the manga. And by the time the anime came out, I was like, I think I might be kind of done with this vibe. I think I need a little bit more meat on the bones of my main characters. I'm a little magicked out. But I will say, part 2 had a banger soundtrack. Banger soundtrack. Great theme song. Just good vibes all around. It's a good time. So I am willing to find out if I continue to vibe with that show in its future incarnations. I built this. I already built this whole thing on the other side. This part of the backpack weapon thing, but it took me a second here to remember. Oh, great. Okay, so there are nubbins. There's overhang on this, and I didn't remember that until just now because I couldn't remember. So I have to make sure that I'm clipping out all these little extra nubbins because they will be very frustrating when I go to put this together if I have not cleaned up all the nubbins. So let me try to find all of these little extra, the overhang pieces there. Got all that, and then I got to see if there's any overhang pieces on here, and there is one here. If there's like one, sometimes you can kind of force it together and it's not that big a deal. But if there are like multiple that you miss, things don't clip together a lot nicely, and it's very frustrating. So those are the two pieces of news in the world of anime. So let's talk about AEW, Double or Nothing, a very long wrestling show. If you like me, watched the fucking pre-show and the 0 hour matches and all of that, and then you rolled right into the main show, then you saw about 6 hours of wrestling. And that's a lot of fucking wrestling. Good wrestling. I have seen some people who were not as enthused as I was with Double or Nothing. Because the response that I've read from some people is that it was just fine, and they expect pay-per-views to be more than fine. They expect AEW to have like, and the thing is, if you're expecting every show that they do to have like 1 or 2 or more matches that are the best match you've ever seen in your life, well then yeah, you're going to get disappointed in like a good show. But AEW, when they were doing 3 pay-per-views a year, could do that. They could just put in all of the hits, no filler, all incredible matches, amazing, like once in a lifetime pairings. Like they could do all that. They can't do that now because they do too many pay-per-views. Like, sorry, they're just going to be doing too many pay-per-views to deal with that. I'm going to go through. I'm going to talk about the matches. If you watch the card, feel free to let me know your thoughts on any of the matches that I'll be talking about here. If you haven't seen any of this, I hope that my descriptions are something that you can appreciate as I talk through what I saw on Double or Nothing 2024 from AEW in Vegas. And we know it's Vegas because the opening match features someone who is dressed kind of like a Day of the Dead Elvis. Thunder Rosa came out in a jumpsuit with like kind of a pompadour hair, inspired by Elvis in Vegas, which seemed fun. She lost the match to Deonna Purrazzo. I am so happy to see Deonna in a heel role. She is a fantastic heel. She is just so good in that role. She came in as a babyface. It didn't work. It didn't quite make sense because the idea of the like virtuoso. If you call yourself a virtuosa, and you can't back that up, then people are like, well, she says she's great, but she's not. It's like, yeah, that's because the character is a heel. Like, she is good, but she says she's better than she really is, and that works if you're a heel. And with her not being a heel, it didn't quite work out. But now it's better. Yes, Lord Crashin, I will chat about that when we get there. But yes. It was a good match. When Thunder Rosa came back from injury, she was not at 100%, which makes sense. Hey, Just Another Spicy, welcome. Happy to have you here. I am doing well. I'm going through a wrestling show that I watched last evening, AEW's Double or Nothing. So this was fun. Look, I'll say this. This was a match featuring women on an AEW pay-per-view that did not involve a title. And that is an incredible rarity. AEW's women's division does not often have storylines outside of title defenses, or a random tag team match that's thrown together because there's some people you really want to get on the card and you don't know how to get them in there, so you put them in a tag team match. But it is very rare that it is, I don't like you. You were supposed to beat someone and you didn't, and now I'm mad at you, so we're going to wrestle. That is not, unfortunately, that is not that common in the women's division. And so it was fucking bad as hell that they got this match, even if it was on the pre-show. And then the pre-show took a turn for the whatever, where the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass, that's badass Billy Gunn, took on the Cage of Agony. That's Brian Cage and the tag team, the Gates of Agony, in a 6-person match. That was fine. It was a very pre-show match. It doesn't really mean anything. Badass Billy Gunn. Billy Gunn is in, or Mr. Ass, as he is also referred to, is in his 50s. Still looks good, can still wrestle. Should not be winning matches for his team. If his team wins, he should not be the one getting the pinfall. It's just so weird. It's just so strange. A 50-year-old man should not be getting pins on, even a tag team that exists just to be monsters and then lose. Mr. S is my father's name. Yeah, well, no. Yes, Lord Cratchit, that's why we refer to Austin and Colton Gunn as the Ass Boys, because their dad is Mr. Ass. They don't like it when you call them the Ass Boys, but that's who they are because they're Billy Gunn's sons, so they're the Ass Boys. We'll get to more about the Ass Boys later. For real, we will for real talk about them later. Okay, so that match was fine. It's whatever. Bishop Khan is a much better wrestler than anyone gives him credit for, and I hope that sometime in the future he gets to do something in wrestling besides just being some sort of monster man. I'm going to check something real quick here. There's supposed to be a sticker on this thing that I missed? No. Okay. I thought maybe there was a sticker on this. There isn't. Our opening match, 8 p.m. Those other matches, that's pre-show, baby. You can just watch that on YouTube. You didn't pay money to see those matches. Those are matches to entice you to watch the main card. Now it's time for the main card, baby. We're getting into it. We're doing it. We're making it happen. Okay, I did this right. Great. Our opening contest. Roderick Strong defended the AEW International Championship. It used to be called the All Atlantic Championship. They changed it to the International. And he defended it and then fucking lost to Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is a huge signing for AEW. This is his first title. He has been on a phenomenal streak here in AEW. Will Ospreay fucking rules. He overcame a lot of interference and bullshit in order to win that match. It's great. I expect him to be removed from removing himself from the Don Callis family soon, hopefully, because it's still very weird that they're playing this thing about this likable babyface who doesn't seem to understand that the guy that is managing him is evil. So I assume at some point things will move on that front. But yeah, Will Ospreay had a banger. He did a good job with Roderick Strong. Roddy Strong, still a great wrestler. His faction sucks because they're just dead in the water as a faction, but still really good. And then after they all left, the leader of the group, Roddy Strong, had his fellow members of his group in there, and they couldn't get the job done. Adam Cole came out. Now, Adam Cole apparently still not cleared to wrestle, but can make contact, as we will find out later. Getting this backpack on appears to be a fucking nightmare, and I don't know why. So I'm going to try putting this backpack on like this, just so I can get it connected. Okay, and now I'm going to try to put the other part of the backpack on the back of this. And these side skirts keep falling off, and I'm not surprised. Okay, that was a lot easier to do. I was able to put it on that way. Now let's see if I can get these side skirts on. These things are just going to keep falling out. They don't seem to go in right. From my research, I'm not doing this wrong. There have been plenty of times, folks, where I have just not understood something and gotten it wrong. But apparently, these are the thing that people like least about this kit. They just don't go in well. So, good to know. This part of the kit is bad. Yeah, so Adam Cole showed up and he was like, hey, story time, blah, blah, blah. Here's some things I want to say. I've been Vegas, you suck. And he pulls out the devil mask and he's like, yeah, it all started with this thing. And then MJF showed up. MJF showed up, made his triumphant return from injury. Cole wanted them to hug and he was like, no. And then kicked him in the crotch, and then he gave him a brain buster, and then told people to get him out of there, and that was the end of Cole. I'm not going to go into all of MJF's promo. He is still a babyface, apparently. Oh, I missed a sticker, folks, so I got to put a sticker on here. He is still a babyface, but he is not going to be a goofy babyface. He is going to be like an anti-authority figure babyface. So picture less of like a clean-cut good guy who's pandering and more like an asshole that you like, which like a little bit more of a Stone Cold. Where sometimes Stone Cold Steve Austin would just stunner a person he liked just because it was funny to do. Like he didn't always act like a gentleman. So yeah, also I do want to point out, because it's been said, I am not inventing this. This was very obvious. A lot of people noticed this. MJF came out wearing black denim and then a long blue denim jacket, long sleeve blue denim jacket with a cut off leather jacket on over it. He was denim on denim and leather. He looked just like, other than the hair and the face, but clothing-wise, he looked just like Triple H when Triple H came back from his quad surgery. So that was, to me, incredibly fucking funny that he was just like, oh, I'm coming back, and I'm going to dress like Triple H on purpose. It was very good. Ooh, did I miss a... No, okay. All right, we got to build a big gun. We got to build a very large gun, so we'll build that. So yeah, MJF's back. I'm excited for that. I like MJF. The Vegas was psyched about it. Now we have a 6-man tag where Bang Bang Gang, and the Bang Bang Gang is Jay White, and then Austin and Colton Gunn, who are the sons of Billy Gunn. They are the ass boys. Dressing like a tough guy. Yes, Lord Crashington. But it was a nod to a guy coming back from injury, and that I thought that was a fun little bit of business on his part. I thought that was cool. I know some people roll their eyes, but I thought it was cool. Yeah, the Bang Bang Gang defended their unified trios championships. They have the Ring of Honor titles and the AEW titles. They've unified the two of them, and they, in a good match, defeated Death Triangle. Death Triangle being the Lucha Brothers and Pac. So it was a New Zealand-born gentleman and some United States brothers versus an English gentleman and some United States brothers by way of Mexico. Fighting each other. So it's brother and their friend versus brother and their friend. And then the Bang Bang Gang's fourth friend showed up. Juice Robinson, who has been out with injury for quite some time, made his triumphant return, which is awesome. I'm very happy for Juice Robinson that he is back. Bang Bang Gang is reunited with 4 members. They got a bunch of belts, 4 dudes. It's very good. I'm glad that he is recovered from his injury. It was able to make an appearance. That I don't think they've had the unified tag belts long enough to lose them, so it makes sense that they didn't retain that they retained. Speaking of retaining, Toni Storm retained her title against Serena Deeb. This was a damn fucking fine match. This was solid. Serena Deeb does nothing for me outside of her prowess as a professional wrestler. Toni Storm is a is a skilled professional wrestler who, for quite some time now, has been just goofing off in a character. And so not all of her matches have been 5-star classics because she is a strong character and she does a lot of character work. In this match, she had to step up. She had to try very hard. She refused to let someone throw in the towel for her. She put on a fantastic performance. There were times the audience was very mixed. At a couple times, Serena Deeb tried to get the crowd going, and they were not into it because even though Toni Storm was supposed to be the heel, Toni Storm has a character that people really like. There are people that are really invested in the gimmick. And on the other side of that, Serena Deeb is incredibly unlikable. She is just naturally not a person that people are interested in getting to know. She is a born heel, and they should have treated her as such, and they didn't. Sometimes she was supposed to be giving babyface promos, and the crowd was just like, nah, but we like Toni Storm. Sorry. And at one point, Toni did give a heel promo, but the crowd is still too much on her side. This sticker is very tiny, and I am having trouble lining it up. So my apologies, friends. Trying to line up this sticker, seeing how it works. Trying to get this going. But yeah, great match. Deeb gave a good challenge, but wasn't going to work. And then confetti ran down, which was lovely. And she did like snow angels in the confetti. There wasn't much confetti where she landed, but it was understood that was what she was trying to do. All right, let's see if I can get this little red sticker on properly here. All right, that'll do. That's close enough. It's a little red sticker on a gun. I think it's okay if I don't get it 100% right. The next match was a men's match that was no titles were on the line. This is a grudge match. Orange Cassidy defeated Trent Beretta. I thought for sure Trent was going to win this one to continue the storyline. Apparently that is not the case. Trent Beretta has turned his back on all of his friends, and Orange Cassidy was mad. Orange Cassidy wanted a street fight or no holds barred. Trent said, "I will wrestle you in a regular match because I'm better than you and I can beat you in a traditional wrestling match." And that turns out to not be true. So then Trent quit, maybe? Who knows? I don't know what's going on with that. Orange Cassidy did not come out. Jane played his song Jane, and he did not come out. But then his original AEW theme song, outside of the Best Friends theme, because originally they did not want to pay for Jane, which is the song he played on the Indies, because the character, fun fact, if you didn't know, the character of Orange Cassidy is based on Paul Rudd's character in Wet Hot American Summer. So they would play Jane, which is on the soundtrack for that movie. So he came out to the song he played on the Indies, Where Is My Mind by the Pixies. That was cool. And then he came out in a darker shade of denim. If I did the dress of Orange Cassidy's outfits, which I have done, and I redid there the tier maker. If I ever updated a tier maker, I would include Double or Nothing 2024 dark denim. This was a fine match. It was maybe like a minute and a half too long. I think Trent should have won, but I believe that there's something with the story there. Don Callis trying to get Orange Cassidy to join the family. And I believe it would be very funny if there's like, oh no, I wanted Trent to join. I wasn't looking for you. That would be very funny, but also wouldn't make any sense because Trent keeps losing to Orange Cassidy. So I don't know why you would want Trent in your group, but I think that would be funny. We'll see on Wednesday if that's where they're going with it. But yeah, it was good. Trent got an asshole chant, which is nice. Now, the match that was referenced by Lord Crashington. Chris Jericho defended the For the World Championship. That's fuck the world, but he changed it to For the World because he's a heel. The For the World Championship was defended. Lashbrook just renewed, saying the Gundam number, 78 months. That's so many months. Thank you so much, Lashbrook. Let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 Blue Mountain chat. Thank Lashbrook for their continued support. 72 months is so many or 78, I should say. 78, because it's the RX 78. That's so many months. Thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate you very, very much. I'm going to throw the emotes in the chat. If you're a subscriber, throw those emotes in. Thank you, Lashbrook. So Chris Jericho is the learning tree. He is a heel. He won the FTW, which is the like no rules belt. He is defending that belt against Hook, who is the son of Taz, legitimately the son of Taz, and Katsuyori Shibata, who is too good for all of this, but is involved in this. This was his second ever hardcore match. The man doesn't work in this kind of style, and so it was interesting to see him do it. But yeah, this was his second ever hardcore match. Very weird. So Jericho retained his belt. That sucks. I did not expect Hook to win. I did not expect Shibata to win. I did expect him to retain. It's still not great. Big Bill got involved. That or as I like to call him, Large William. Large William did make an appearance and made his presence known. But really, so how did this three-way fight come about? You may wonder. Well, there was a three-way fight on Wednesday to pick the number one contender. Who was going to face him? It was Brian Keith, the bounty hunter. It was Shibata, and it was Hook. And Shibata put Brian Keith in a submission hold, and then Hook also put Brian Keith in a submission hold, and then Brian Keith had to tap out. And when he tapped out, both Hook and Shibata became number one contenders. And so they both were added to the match. That apparently did not set well with the bounty hunter. Because the bounty hunter, dressed as a masked luchador, came into the ring and hit Shibata with a trash can and helped out enough to cause Hook to be distracted. And then Jericho pinned Shibata, who was still in the trash can, which doesn't fucking make sense because Shibata's shoulders were definitely off the mat because his head and shoulders were in a trash can. But apparently, that's okay. Don't let reality get in the way of a fun story. So yeah, Hook and Shibata lost. Now, was Brian Keith just mad about losing and losing to two people? We don't know. Was Brian Keith paid off because he is the bounty hunter? Was he paid a bounty? We don't know. Is he joining the learning tree? We don't know. We'll find out maybe on Wednesday, maybe on Saturday. I will say, all in all, it's a fun bit of business. I thought that was pretty good. Thought it was all pretty good. I don't love Jericho backdooring his way into a character, playing off, being genuine at first, and then the crowd response being so bad that he's run with it. I don't love that. I do think that Jericho likes to work with young talent, but at the end of the day, doesn't really put them over, and they're never really in a better spot after working with him over time. So, all right. We're now in weapon phases here. We're almost done with this kit, which has been a quality build. So I do need to put the big weapons here, our side weapons on. It does have a cool thing. I should point out, there is a cool thing about this kit. If I can find the right beam. Is it the right beam saber? Yes. Look at that. I love this shit. The beam saber is on the weapon. That's so fun. That's fun and good and fun. Moving on with the pay-per-view, as I now probably struggle to get this thing on here. I will tell you more about this pay-per-view. Okay, so Jon Moxley had a match with Konosuke Takeshita. And the stipulation was, Jon Moxley is current. Justin Spicy says, speaking of Jericho, 25th anniversary of his WWE debut on SmackDown is coming up. That's right. That is coming soon. Yeah, Jericho's been in the business a number of years. Okay, so what do I want to say about this? Okay, so Jon Moxley is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. That's the biggest prize in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He is the champion. He and Takeshita had a match. If Takeshita had won the match, he would be granted a future opportunity for that belt. So it was an eliminator. You got to win, and if you win, then you get the shot. Why didn't he just get a shot? Politics. Honestly, legitimately, it's probably politics. There are politics in wrestling. Konosuke Takeshita is still a member of the DDT roster. He is signed with AEW, but he's also signed with DDT's parent company, Cyber Agent, own them. Their rivals are New Japan's parent company, Bushiroad. New Japan and DDT have worked together in the past, but not consistently. The politics of him getting that title shot, being the first DDT member, the idea that a guy who is not full-time on the New Japan roster, a Gaijin of all people, defending the belt against a DDT wrestler. It was weird enough that he defended the belt against Hobbs. Hobbs was, I believe, only the third ever black man to ever wrestle for the New Japan's biggest crown, biggest championship. I'm pretty sure that that was already historic. So Hobbs getting in there was a big deal. And then if you add in all the other shenanigans around there, Takeshita did not win. All of this is to say that Takeshita did not win. It was a hard-fought victory for our boy, and it was good. I mean, it was Moxley and Takeshita had a great match. Well, I'm not going to try to lie. That was a great match, but it wasn't incredible. I would say only one of the matches tonight did I feel like, damn, and we'll get to that in a bit. Adam Copeland defended his TNT championship against Malachi Black in a goddamn barbed wire steel cage where there was barbed wire along the roof of the cage. There was barbed wire on all of the turnbuckles. There was just random barbed wire here and there. Inside the ring, there was several chairs and a table, and the chairs were wrapped in barbed wire. It was a lot of goddamn barbed wire. And ridiculous amount of barbed wire, one might say. All right, so I'm going to take one photo here, and then we will... actually, the weapon, I didn't put a sticker on the weapon. There's a sticker that goes on here. So let me do that first. Our last sticker that I completely forgot about has to go on. And then we can take a photo of this as it is, and then we can change up the weapons and put on the cables here, because the pokies that stick out of the bottom of this here can become projectiles. So we can show that off. This match was great. This is my biggest disappointment in outcomes. Now, look, Takeshita winning the Eliminator would have been cool. Malachi Black should have won this. Now, maybe they got story and they're going to go place with this, and Malachi Black losing is going to lead to a bunch of stuff. But I don't need Adam Copeland to still be the TNT champion. I think that is an unnecessary thing. I do not think he still needs to hold that belt. I think him dropping it to Malachi Black would have been would have been the way to go. Ooh, there's one sticker that I didn't put on anywhere, folks. Sticker 21. I missed a sticker somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's on. It's actually, this sticker also goes on. The sticker that I couldn't figure out where it went and that I missed, it just goes on this weapon here. So don't mind me. But yeah, the match was brutal. It was good. I think the wrong winner happened. While I can understand Orange Cassidy beating Trent, let the folks go home happy with that one. I think I would have preferred that. I get it. But yeah, Malachi Black should have beaten Adam Copeland. Adam Copeland is in his 50s. He shouldn't be one without. Yes. So at one point, the doors got knocked wide open. And in AEW, you don't win by escaping the cage. You win by pinfall or submission. So they got out of the cage. And then the rest of the House of Black, the other members of Malachi Black's family, showed up. And they all beat him down. And they got in the ring. And then from underneath the ring, he appeared, Gangrel, because apparently WWE does not have the rights to the term the Brood anymore. They gave that up. So there was a Brood entrance, the vampire entrance, and then Gangrel, Edge's old companion, the guy that brought Edge and Christian to the world in WWE, came out, misted a couple guys. It was a good bit of business. That helped Adam Copeland win. I guess if he had showed up and helped out and then Adam still lost, that wouldn't be great. It was very fun. It was cool. People were real psyched about that. It was a good match, but yeah, I was not happy about that. And then they had to get rid of the cage. So Don Callis was talking about how Will Ospreay won, and he is going to try to get a new member on Wednesday. And will that be Orange Cassidy? Then we got to our... Okay, so AEW did a thing that I don't agree with. I don't agree with this, but they did a thing, and it's their call to make. They announced that this show had 3 main events. How can a show have 3 main events? I don't fucking know. But it had 3 main events. So technically, and I would put an asterisk next to it, for the first time ever, AEW had a women's title match as its main event. One of 3 main events. But it did. Willow Nightingale put her TBS championship on the line against a returning Mercedes Moné. If you may know Mercedes Moné by her previous name in WWE as Sasha Banks. She worked for New Japan as Mercedes Moné. She was in the match to decide the first ever IWGP Women's Strong Championship, which is a New Japan. Instead of just having Stardom on their shows, created a women's division in New Japan. It's weird. That's their choice. They did whatever. Mercedes got injured, and Willow Nightingale, her opponent in that match, became that champion. And Mercedes has taken a very long time to get healthy again. In that time, she signed with AEW, and this was her first match back, and she won. And here's the thing: do I think that Willow Nightingale should have been champion longer? And maybe you didn't need to instantly make Mercedes Moné champion. Yes. Once it was decided that that was the match that was going to happen, did at any point I think Willow was going to win? No. Because here's the thing. Even if you don't like Mercedes Moné as a wrestler, which she's fucking phenomenal, and she showed it. She has some ring rust. It did not matter by the end of it. It was a great bout. Mercedes Moné got paid a lot of money for her AEW contract. They're going to put a fucking belt on her and have her do news programs. A woman that has been in a Star Wars has the TBS championship. It made sense. Do I like that? Not really. Because I think that Willow Nightingale has had a wonderful rise in AEW, and it's been fantastic. I think Willow Nightingale should jump over to the world title division. But we do know what's next for her. Unfortunately, we know what's next for her. And what's next for her is uh, being betrayed by Chris Statlander. Her friend Chris Statlander betrayed her. Stokely Hathaway betrayed her. Why did this happen? We don't know. We'll find out later. Stokely is a great heel referee, but it was fun to have the three of them together. It's a bit of a shame that they're broken up. Honestly, it's mostly a shame to me that they've been broken up because it means that they're going to be feuding against each other for a while, and we won't see Willow in the title picture. But that does mean that two women who are going to have a program outside of titles, which is always important for a healthy division. Then what also probably could have been the main event, Swerve Strickland defended his AEW World Championship against Christian Cage. I do think the world title should go last, but I understand anarchy in the arena. You can't really follow that. This was a great match. Good shenanigans. Prince Nana, Swerve Strickland's assistant, not really manager, had a lead pipe at one point, which was fun. Swerve came out. They had a video package, and then he came out in full goddamn Warriors gear, and it fucking whipped ass. AEW has a big problem of having no idea what to do with faces. So Lashbrook, in their world title picture, they don't. The AEW, in my opinion's biggest problem is they don't know what to do with when the babyface wins the big one. They don't know what to do with them. Like Willow was doing great as the women's champion. They actually did a fantastic job with her as a babyface champion. She was taking on all comers. She was just like, hey, yeah, Mercedes, you got hurt in our match, and I'm sorry that happened, but I'm not going to lose my belt to you just because you got hurt in our match. And she was reasonable and all of that and fired up and great. I think Willow was a prime example of how to do it. But yes, I agree that there are often times where they just don't seem to know what to do with baby faces once they overcome. When the underdog is no longer the underdog, AEW has a tendency to be like, and now what do we do with that? Anyway, Swerve fucking whipped ass. This is a great match. This was Swerve's first defense on a pay-per-view. I fully expected him to win. Christian Cage does not need the world title. He's great, but nah. And yeah, it was fun. He sold the hell out of a bunch of swerve stomps and house calls, and it was good. And then the Elite, which is the Young Bucks, Okada, and Jack Perry defeated Team AEW, which was FTR, Darby Allin filling in for a shoot for real injured Eddie Kingston, and Bryan Danielson. At one point, Darby tried to drown in a big bathtub outside. He tried to drown, fully tried to kill him, Jack Perry. And then Jack Perry drove a painted black, short, a small bus, one of those small school buses that said Scapegoat on it. He drove that bus but the cameras did not pick it up well. He tried to hit Darby Allin with a bus, which is a callback to the fact that Darby got sideswiped by a New York City bus at one point recently. So that happens. And then later we saw Jack Perry, and he was supposed to be wet from when he had been drowned or attempted to be drowned, but he didn't look wet. He looked like he was covered in a jelly substance. And so between that and the fact that at one point you could see very large fire extinguishers out there, it became very clear to me anyway, oh no, Jack Perry's going to fucking get lit on fire in the Anarchy in the Arena match. And that is what fucking happened. Jack Perry covered in gel. Lashbrook, looking at pictures, that is a converted school bus. That also could be a food truck, but that is a converted, after school, what they refer to derogatorily as a short bus. That's a bus. Now, that could also be a food truck, but that is a school bus. Jack Perry got lit on fire. He had the gel. He's apparently fine after that ordeal and totally okay. But yeah, he got fucking lit on fire. Darby had a flamethrower on Wednesday and then had a different flamethrower on Sunday. And then he got extinguished. Also, Darby Allin got hung from a wire upside down. So he was not hung like by the neck. They've done that in AEW before. No, in this case, he got hung by, I want to say his own petard, but no, he didn't get hung by his own petard. He got fucking hung by a chain upside down for a very long time. There was a chant about, like, please help Darby. Because Bryan Danielson came in and was beating everyone's asses. And then he didn't help Darby. And then the crowd was like, what if you helped Darby? I can't get this. I can't get this to work. This wire is supposed to go into this piece, and it's just not supposed to. And I'm trying both ends of this, but this wire is supposed to go in, and then the other end goes in here. And the idea is that these can kind of come out, so I can see like which way that fits on there. Okay, it doesn't fit that way, so this fits like this on here. And then this is supposed to go there. So that was the main event. The Bucks did another exploding thing. There's a bunch of tacks on there were shoes with tacks on them. Darby had a mask on his face to protect his nose that had thumbtacks on it. There's a lot of thumbtacks in there. I did want to say that I forgot to mention, because it was mentioned in chat, that dice were thrown around in the FTW match, and that probably did not feel good. And then also, the referee had to keep touching the dice and slamming her hand to the dice when she was counting pinfalls. Okay, so I can't get this to work, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop fighting it. Basically, you shove a wire in there, and then these things could be extended. I will try the other wire very briefly. I got one end on, but I can't get the other end on. I don't know what I'm doing wrong with it. It should go in and then just work. Yes, those were some large dice. They got some large 6-sided dice there. All right, I'm going to give up on this because this is just not working. Overall, I thought the pay-per-view was great. Look, was it as good as previous AEW pay-per-views? No, but I'm not saying that AEW, if they don't do a show that's better than their previous, that it's bad. Because I think it was like very fucking respectably good. I thought it was like a solid show. Maybe some of the matches were a bit too predictable. I do think that like Trent winning could have been a big deal, especially if Trent had cheated to win. That could have felt like a very big deal. Instead of what he did was just lose a wrestling match after saying he was the better wrestler. Turns out he wasn't. I think it would have been funny if he had won, even if he cheated. They didn't do that. Instead, he lost. All right, I'm going to bring the claw out here. I'm going to try to put this thing on. See if this will stay on. Yeah, these side things do not like to be on. All right, so I'm going to take a photo with the different version of the weapons, and then we're going to call this a build. Yeah, overall pay-per-view, thought it was solid. Happy to see it. I'm not stalling on what to talk about tonight, but I wanted to talk a lot about the wrestling show, mainly because I don't have a lot else to chat about. Hey, holiday weekend, thankfully, not a lot of news. Lord Crashington wants me to dance button, I will. Not a lot of news in the world of wrestling or video games. Like literally, like nothing to report from anything. Like nobody got laid off today. I'm sure that when I talk on Thursday, there will be more. But today, nothing. But we are just about done with this kit. I'm gonna hit the dance button as I try to figure this out. Thank you for using your channel points, so I dance. Lord Crashton asked the question. It's just another spicy. Put some emotes in the chat. Who has the best dumb name for their tag team right now? Best dumb name for their tag team. So, the Gates of Agony have a trio with Brian Cage. Gates of Agony are two guys. Brian Cage is a single person. Together, they're calling themselves the Cage of Agony, and that's very dumb in a way that I really like. So that's very good. There's also the Outrunners. They are on purpose terrible. They are a throwback. The Outrunners are a throwback to like the 80s tag team wrestling. And so Outrunners is a good dumb name. I think that's pretty great. I'm trying to think if there's any other like good, real dumb tag team names. I don't know. That's what stood out to me as like, oh, that's good. That's good and dumb. All right. So I'm going to take a photo of this. I'm going to even put on the beam saber attachment because I love that when a weird rail gun thing has an attachment for the beam saber, and that's where you're supposed to put a beam saber. And then we got our claw here, and we got our wings spread out, our back thing spread out like that. I'm going to have to go high up to take this photo. That song, only a couple more broadcasts because let's see. Thursday is the last stream of this month, of the month of May. So we'll have one last one. All right, yes, I got to go up here. There we go. I don't know. I don't think this kit. I don't think I can do justice to this kit in the fact that it looks so goddamn good. There's problems. There are the nubbins because there's the overhang pieces here. So that's frustrating. You got to be really careful about that because the gold. The side skirt pieces love to pop off. That sucks. That's just bad design. There are a lot of stickers with this kit. The black is so fucking shiny, as Lord Crashton mentions. This black is so really beautiful and shiny. It does catch the light, and that helps a lot. The black is gorgeous on this. The gold is very good. It'd have to be, considering how much gold there is on this kit. I wish that the red was more plastic. This piece is red. This piece is red. Everything else red on here is stickers, and I don't like that. I wish there was more of this was actual red plastic and not just stickers. But I think this is a phenomenal kit. This was a fun build. I would recommend this one. I got it for a good price, but it's probably a little pricey out there. I think the gold frame Amatsu Mina is solid. I would say that is that's a good fucking model kit. Now I'm going to throw some stuff out of my way here because I'll deal with that later. Just going to toss that over there. And you get some extra pieces because it's a modified gold frame. So there's some extra stuff. So after the pause for the cause, which we will be taking in just a moment, we will start working on this Lego set. So let me switch over to the EV. This is a Lego electric sports car. And then I got to delete that. Okay, great. This was bought by Chris. Thank you, Chris, for picking up this lovely looking kit. I look forward to building it. 95 pieces, should be nice and fast build. Might build the whole thing on the stream. If not, we'll finish it on Thursday. But before we get into that, we need to have a conversation. Probably a quick, fairly short conversation here. Oops, sorry, actually, what happened here? There we go. Sorry. F11? There we go. F11. Okay. One of my tabs went full screen, and I did not notice it until it was too late. Hi, I'm going to talk about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm going to say right now is optional. You don't have to do any of these things, but if you would like to, I would love that because I can't do this stream without your help. But, you know, these are optional. These are not things you got to do. These are things you can do if you would like. First and foremost, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build with Bear Workshop, please throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue Emote in the chat. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support me through cash money or your Prime Gaming token. You could be like Lashbrook, who used Prime Gaming token. Jam is here. Welcome, Jam. Thank you very much for being here. Yeah, Lashbrook is a Prime, so if you have Amazon Prime link with your Twitch, you can use your Prime token. Other people have supported me in cash, which is always kind. We are currently at 36 subscribers. The goal is to get to 50. I shut up about how many subscribers I have. When I get to 50, we're not there yet. In fact, we're only doing this so well because of gifted subs, which is very kind and nice. But I'm going to drink a little water even before we take a break for that. If you want to support me, that's the easiest way. There are other ways you could gift a sub, as I mentioned, like John and Aristofan have. That's incredible. You could do that. You could do cheer. We didn't have any cheer this month. I didn't get to play my ka-ching noise because nobody cheered, which is okay. But I have alternatives like Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. Consider joining me on Patreon. I'm going to check to see what won my poll for my $10 patrons. My $10 patrons got to vote on what I'm building next. And okay, yep, that is a Gundam. So once I'm done with this Lego set, I'll be working on a Gundam. A Gundam that I have built the master grade of, but I've never built the high grade of. But yeah, if you want to join me on Patreon, that's the way to go. Also, I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube, subscribing is free, and I would love for you to subscribe because I post videos all the time over there. So check that out. I have realized that in my day was very busy, and one thing I didn't do was I did not go live with today's episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. So I'm going to do that right now. A hint for later when I share the link with everyone. But I did not make that video live, so I am going to make that live here, and then I'll tweet about it later. Cancel that. I can't believe I did that. That is a very rare thing where I forget that I have a video coming out that day and then don't put it out. But we'll do it now. Pat Bear's Anime Club. I have a new episode out. But yeah, that's on my YouTube channel. So if you go over to my YouTube channel, you can watch that video now, and then I will also later tweet out that link late at night, and then probably tweet it out again tomorrow. But there's a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club that's literally live right now. You become a member of my YouTube, $2 a month. You get my Wednesday videos a day early, and I will remember tomorrow to send those out. Those are all monthly ways to support me. You could also do a one-time, if you would like. You could do a one-time help out through direct donation through my PayPal or my Ko-Fi. And everything I make through direct donations like that, through YouTube subscriptions, which also include, memberships, which also includes AdSense. So watching my videos helps me out financially. Through my Patreon and through my Twitch. Everything, you can donate to any of those, and I will use that money to build model kits in the future, to buy model kits to then build. The kit that we just finished, this beautiful, gorgeous kit, I was able to build because of your generosity. I was able to buy that and build it, so I appreciate y'all very much for that. And the next thing I'm going to be working on, the Lego set that I'll be tackling, was purchased off my Amazon wish list. It's an inexpensive Lego set off my wish list because I always try to keep a few inexpensive options. If you would like a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that you have purchased, and you would like me to build that before I build things in my backlog, well, go check out my Amazon wish list and see if there's something there that you'd like to see me build. I've got Lego sets. I got model kits. I have inexpensive kits. I have expensive kits. I have kits that are on sale, kits that are never on sale, Pokemon stuff, Digimon, Lots of stuff from Bandai, some 3-in-1 kits from Lego, some just regular kits from Lego City. Like I said, I do keep some inexpensive options, and then it goes up in price. Hey, there's a Mega Constructs Pokemon thing that is it is a Doug Trio, and apparently the Doug Trio like move. The three heads can like pop up out of the ground. And that's right now on sale and on my wish list, and I would love to see how that fucking works. So if you want to see me build a Doug Trio coming out of what appears to be concrete, you could buy that and I'd build it. But yeah, I got Lego sets, all kinds of things there. June 23rd is my birthday. So if you would like to get me an early birthday present, you could do that. It's not June yet, but it's almost June. So if you want to give me a little early birthday gift, so you could just do that. That would be neat. And like I said, jumps the queue becomes the next thing I build. I have a Throne wish list. That is my alternative to Amazon because it's nice to have alternatives. See if there's something there you'd like to purchase from me if you wanted to. And then the most convoluted way to support me financially, go to USA Gundam Store. Buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. They will send you an email with the gift card code. Then send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter, or if you wanted to, a DM on Blue Sky because they have DMs now. With that gift card code, I will use that gift card code to buy something from USA Gundam Store and then make a video about it and build it on stream, and the cycle continues, and we do what we must, which is build model kits. If you don't want to spend any money, but you still feel like you could support me in some way and you'd love to do that, you could join my Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People will post stuff they're working on. The Discord is nice. Would love to see you there. Video links. Today's episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which I was supposed to post a link to earlier in the day and then just fucking didn't, is now live. This episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club is me talking about the weird phenomenon this season, spring 2024, is weird because there are 7 shows that are in their 3rd season. One is in the second half of their 3rd season, but that fucking counts. 7 shows. That's so many. There are plenty of seasons where there are only like a couple returning shows, or maybe like a show in its 8th season, which is very rare. But there are 3 shows in their 7th season. So I talk about all of them, which ones of those I'm watching, why I might not be watching some of them, why I understand why some people will be into it, why I haven't gotten into it, a little bit about each show, kind of explore that. And I don't have a good answer for you of why the stars aligned and there are 7 shows in their 3rd season all at the same time. I don't have an answer for that. But it's fucking weird, and I wanted to talk about it in the video. And then also during this video, which you should watch, I kind of like accidentally figure out a future video that I'm going to do, which is kind of fun. Just like in talking, I was like, oh, I guess that should be a video. So I came up with another idea. It's not going to be the next one I do because it's going to require research. But I am going to do a video on that. Let's see. The other video you should watch is Kuma Baer. Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation show, where every week I make a 1-minute short talking about an anime that I think you should check out. This week, since last week when I posted this one, it's about Samurai Champloo. Samurai Champloo is a phenomenal show from the 2000s, all in the month of May. I've been talking about anime from the 2000s. This next Wednesday will be the 5th one, and it'll conclude May, and me talking about all of the cool anime from the 2000s, some of which you maybe missed. The next one is going to be one that I feel like flew under people's radar, but not everybody, a lot of people knew about Samurai Champloo because it was the director of Cowboy Bebop making a kung fu inspired like road trip anime in the Edo period. So like people found out about it. It's pretty fucking great. Anyway, we're gonna work on a Lego, and I'm gonna talk about some anime that I have been watching. Um, and I'm going to drink some water because my throat's starting to fight me here. And in order to do all of that, I'm going to drink some water and dramatically transition to the overhead camera right now. So I'm going to, even though this is only 95 pieces, I am going to knoll this because it's good to do proper knolling for a bit. This will be a pretty fast build, but we can at least get started with it properly. You want to do the proper thing, and that also includes breaking down the box properly for recycling. Because when this kit, sometimes I save some Lego. Most of the time, Lego gets broken down, goes into a box, and then it will get donated at some point. Because that is important to me. To be able to properly donate Lego to Lego Replay. So, yeah, we'll go here. So this will kind of go like that, and then I could just open some bags and start knolling, putting some stuff in some places. I can build our friend here as we do that. But yeah, I am just going to organize by color. I am always going to triple, quadruple check to make sure that I don't have, that when I toss a bag, that there's no Lego inside of it. And we can start by talking about some anime that I watched since the last stream, since Saturday. Kaiju number 8. This is episode 7 of Kaiju number 8. The episode is titled Kaiju number 9, but nothing is called Kaiju number 9 in this episode, but we can infer that that is what we are going to call our man who can turn into a kaiju, who is not our guy Kafka. You may remember we're dealing with a lot of bullshit here. This seems to be a stunt. The guy that was pretending to, because he wanted to be there to watch, the guy that was pretending to be a cleaner is actually the villain that has caused some of these issues, or is at least part of a conspiracy. Again, we don't have a lot of answers when it comes to like what the fuck's going on here. But the guy who is posing, he has run into our Reno, who is like our secondary lead, and he is Reno is there with Aharu, and they're like, "Where did you come from? What are you doing here?" And that guy's like, somebody's fucking up my plans. You must know who's fucking up my plans. Tell me who's fucking up my plans. And they're like, what? And then that guy transforms into a kaiju-like man. So he also is similar to Kefka, our boy. He's like, I'm going to kill one of you and capture the other so I can figure out what's going on. Reno tries to call for help using but the signal is being blocked, so he cannot do that. That they're being blocked by the kaiju. I am going to refer to the kaiju as number 9 because they don't do it exactly in it, but that is what the episode is titled, and I think that is easier to just call him number 9. Kaiju number 9 is starting to attack. Reno can dodge it because of the tips that he got from Kafka, or Kikaru, actually. Sorry, Kikaru and Kafka gave some tips. And he basically, Reno is like, Aharu, fucking run and tell people. Aharu agrees because Aharu is like, I do not want to be here for this shit. But one thing is, our guy Aharu suddenly has a change of heart, and he's like, nah. Our boss said that I gotta be strong if I want to surpass my limits. So he turns around and he's like, no, I'm going to help you fight, which maybe is like the braver choice, but to me doesn't seem like the smart choice because they ain't going to win, and then people don't know what's going on. He's like, you're trapped here unless you kill me, number 9 says. Reno is fatally injured at one point, and they tried their best. Um, let's see. Meanwhile, Hoshina, the leader, is informed, hey, we have lost contact with two of our guys. Um, let's see. Kikaru informs Kafka that they're fighting a sentient monster, and so she lets him know what's going on. Then Kafka arrives in kaiju form, so we have number 8 and number 9, and he immediately decapitates, like rips off the head of number 8 and just starts beating the shit out of it. But then but apparently this kaiju can regenerate, so it is not a one and done. Also, he's trying to protect his friends. There is a point where in this is most of the episode is this long fight that does whip ass. It is cool. It is cool watching Kafka like come into his own. This other guy seems to be overwhelmed and is not dealing well with him. But there's a problem. He's like gonna remove the core and probably like kill this guy, or at least make him so he can't do anything. But then a bunch of the defense force shows up at the wrong time, and they're like, oh, another monster is here, and they're getting ready to fight our guy. We have a short little flashback of Kikaru talking to Kafka, where Kafka was like, I should be able to sense this guy. I think I can sense him, and I can find them. And telling Kikaru to like handle the rest of the other monsters. But that also, him going there in that form, that's how people were alerted. So we get a flashback that we don't really need explaining things, but that's kind of this anime loves flashbacks to the things that you could infer from context, but whatever. That's how they were able to find him, is because they were, that he was running across the battlefield. Number 9 regenerates fully and is like, I'm going to kill you next time because I get how your powers work. Now I understand, which is obviously not good. That's not good that he apparently thinks he can fight evenly with Kafka the next time. Kafka defends some of the defense force from our guy, who then, number 9, who then just disappears. Number 9 is gone. And then Kafka also runs away, and he runs to an alley. And unfortunately, in that alley, he runs into his boss, Hosana. And Hosana starts powering up and is basically just like, I'm gonna beat number 8. Obviously, Hosana does not know that is one of the self-defense guys, that is our main character, because he's been keeping that a secret, and I believe only 2 people know about it. So lots of good action in this episode. We've got some wild shit happening. The fighting was good. I'm referring to that guy as number 9 just because nobody else has said his name or his designation number, and I feel like it's easier instead of saying like the kaiju guy who isn't our kaiju guy. Like, that doesn't seem like something I should say. But yeah, great fucking episode. That was a quality episode of Kaiju number 8. And then we come to another episode 7 of Whisper Me a Love Song, which is the only show I'm actively watching on High Dive, although I am getting caught up with Urusei Yatsura. I am getting caught up with that show because that's a show in its 3rd season that I talk about in that video that I promoted earlier. I'm talking about that show, and I was like, I guess I should probably get caught up. Let's build our guy and his racing cap, our racing enthusiast, our EV sports car, electric sports car driver, who I guess isn't a racer but is psyched about racing. I guess that's what we're going with this character. This vibe here. I have been knolling. Again, this is 95 pieces. We might even finish this today. If not, we'll finish it for sure on Thursday. But I just thought it would be funny to, or nice to like get all these things together. Properly knoll this so that I'm not digging around trying to find the pieces I need. And now that I have everything together, we can start building it as I tell you about Whisper Me a Love Song. So, the end of the last episode, Yori met the previous singer for SS Girls, who we didn't know, Shisho, who is a member of the cooking club with Yori's girlfriend, Himari. But Shisho does not know that Himari is dating Yori. And Shisho was like insulted Yori, and Yori was very surprised because these characters have never interacted before. So she's like, "Hey, so what's up with you and Shisho and her leaving the group, and what's the deal is?" And Aki, who we know is in love with Yori, but Yori doesn't know that. Aki's just like, "Nah, you don't have to worry about that. It's okay. Like, nah, that's all right. Don't worry about that thing. That's fine. It's whatever." Later, Yori and the group basically like congratulate the two of the group of the band congratulates Himari for starting to go out with Yori. And then Aki's just like, "Hey, I'm still her best friend," which is like, okay, all right, chill out, girl. We're building our EV recharging station here right now. So we'll get that together. So that happens. Yori and Himari go on a date. There's talk about like some jealousy. And then Himari is hanging out with Miki. But Miki is happy that Himari seems more happy now. And then Himari goes to visit her friend Momika, who is in the cooking club, and is like, "Hey, I am dating her. Isn't that neat? We're dating." And Momika's just like, "Oh, that's awesome." And Momika kind of hints at like that she's not in a relationship, but she is in love with someone, and we don't know who that is or anything about that, because she changes the subject to be like, "Hey, you know how the bands are getting ready for the cultural festival. The cooking club should enter the cultural festival. Because maybe that would help people join if they learned about it." Okay, so we've already built this. This thing's done. I'm just put that there so we can see it. Now we can work on our car. So they're like, "Yeah, it'd be a great way." Shisho and Hajime, who are the other members of the club, show up. And we learn something new. There's been a lot of talk about music and Yori being the lead singer of a band. This is the first time that Momika is just like, "Oh yeah, we're also in a band." Momika, Hajime, and Shio are all in a band together. And also the cooking club, although only one member is an active member. And they want to audition for that in the cooking club. There's a whole thing there about them trying to get them to do it. Because they're cooking club members, so they want them to help out. But Chio is like, "Hey, the band is our top priority, but okay, we will help out, but just so you know, like where our loyalties lie." Yori tells Himari that the girls are going to audition for the festival, and Himari is like, "Well, if other girls see you perform, they might fall in love with you." So there's a little jealousy and uncertainty, but she's like, "Nah, I'm not that doesn't matter because I'm not going to fall in love with them, so it's fine." Which is like, yeah, it's like, "Nah, you're the only one for me." But Himari is excited about that, about the festival. Yori's worried about her guitar solo, and they're all kind of. And Mari brings up Shio. Mari's is like, "Well, I hope I don't fuck up and then get insulted by Shisho." And then later, at Yori's house, Aki finally says, hey, here's what happened. Shiho was a loner, and she kept coming in and out of bands, and nobody knew why she kept quitting the bands that she was in. She eventually got asked to join SS Girls as just a guitarist, but then she became the singer. And it was fine, and it was going well, but after a while, Shiho was unhappy with the dedication of the rest of the members of the band. They weren't living up to her standards, her own standards of how well they should be doing. So she was pissed off about that. And there was an argument. And then Aki was just like, well, your singing isn't great. And we still are happy with you here. Aki slapped Shiho in the argument. And then Shiho quit the band. And so then that obviously has affected Aki. Now, why that means that Shiho would insult Yori, well, because she's in the band that she left. Why would she care? There might be more than what's going on there. But also, a pretty reasonable thing. Like, yes, she probably wouldn't like the band if a member of the band slapped her and she was unhappy with it. And then the rest of the band would be unhappy if the girl that insulted them for not taking things too seriously, like, quit the band. Like, yeah, lots of hard feelings in this episode. We go to the audition. Miki is there and Himari are there to watch, and some other students that we don't know the names of are there to watch the auditions. SS Girls perform. I didn't say this in the last episode. The last episode, when they were playing, we heard the music, but there wasn't much to the animation. This show apparently does not have a rotoscoping budget because these two performances that we see here are way better than the performances that we saw last week. As terms of not performance of the music, but like the animation, it was mostly just like a montage of shots. And this episode, there was more animation, but it's very clear they do not have a fucking budget for anything here when it comes to like performance capture. Like, I don't know what references they're using, but like, this show doesn't really have a big budget, and they spend all the money they do have on the character animations, not the music animations. So Shiho's band also performs. And then later... Oh, also, I should say, one thing I missed was Himari was going to say, because she doesn't know the drama, she was going to say who she's dating to Shiho, but was stopped by Momika. Momika was like, no, don't tell her. So that's one thing I didn't mention there that happened that may be important later. Shiho confronts Aki because she was like, hey, you heard both of us. Who did better, me or Yori? Which is like, come on. That's a wild thing to say. Also, Shiho's just like, I mean, she's in this band because you're in love with her, right? Which Yori denies. But Shiho's like, no, I know you love her. Will that lead to anything? I don't know. But the drama continues. Will Shiho try to mess up the band? Who knows? Will it be a nightmare when all four members of the cooking club know that that one of their members is dating the lead singer of SS Girls? I don't know. This drama is great. I appreciate that it's not that the fact that people have been everyone is very positive about girls dating each other in this anime, which you would expect. But sometimes, so far there has not been a character who's just like, I don't like what's going on here. What about boys? We haven't seen that yet, so that's nice. Hold on one second here. I spent a lot of time outside today, so my apologies. A bit of a stuffy nose here. Yeah, good episode. I thought the whole episode was solid. I was happy with it. I look forward to the next one. Now is the part of the stream where I want to hear from you, kind viewers. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you into? What's got you going? What are you jazzed about? If there's anything going on like that, oops, this is the wrong piece. This is the wrong piece. It's supposed to be this piece. Let me know. I will say I'm playing Hearthstone. As always, I am platinum in both standard and in the wonderful world of Wild. Platinum in both those. Doing well. I got some decks I like. Um, I'm trying to make this evolved deck work. It's not good at all, and it's a little slow, and so the aggro decks are wiping my ass. But I have a mid-range paladin, a healing paladin in standard that if my cards are right and I can survive the first few turns, I can turn the game around in the mid game, and those decks don't have any end game. They don't have any expensive cards. They just want to build a board, buff that board, and then hit you in the face. And so if I can get any of my healing down, once I do get that healing down, they cannot overpower me. And then my big cards come into play, and I wipe the floor with them. So that's been fun. And then I have the dragon deck, which I've shown before. That dragon deck continues to be very fun for me. I have a good time with that deck. And then I have my big shaman. A couple new cards from the mini set really help that shaman deck out to be more consistent. So I have my new version of the shaman deck, and that has been very good for yours truly playing that. Other than that, I got my D&D in yesterday. I played D&D for a good chunk of the day, and then so I mowed the front yard, did some more stuff outside, played D&D for several hours, ate dinner, and then watched wrestling for most of the night, including I made a pizza bagel. It was real good. We have leftover mozzarella. We have leftover sauce. So I got a bagel. And then also, I didn't have like sausage or anything. I could have put bacon on there. Sometimes I'll do that, make a bacon pizza. But what I ended up doing was putting on some leftover meatloaf that we had. I threw some meatloaf on there. And that was really fucking good. That was unbelievably good. And that was my big meal. And that was phenomenal. It was unbelievably good while I was watching wrestling, eating a giant pizza bagel that I made. Was real good. I was very pleased with myself for that design. Yeah, and played D&D, and that's just we're trying to. That was 2 times this week that we played D&D because we are trying to get a much time in because the summer, some people are going to be off on and off. Our schedules are bad in the summer, so the people were like, "Hey, what if we played more than once a week sometimes?" Which is great. It's a good creative avenue for a couple people in my in the smaller D&D crew. This is their only performance element in their life because their jobs don't allow for that. So it's nice for them to get out and be creative and hang out. And also it's good socially. I need to hang out with people socially and talk to them, even if it is in the digital space. It's still good to talk to people. I find that necessary for my mental health. And when I watched wrestling last night, I also watched with a bunch of people and chatted with them in a Discord while watching. So that's also good for me. Ghost Valve's here. Hey, Ghost Valve says, lots of Elden Ring. Still continuing on Dungeon Meshi. Worked on getting a shed ready, and it just needs a roof now. Unfortunately, rainy next few days. Sorry to hear that. Hope that you get some time to get that roof done when available. I am way behind on Dungeon Meshi, but I have decided for myself that I am going to finish Dungeon Meshi this season. I'm going to get caught up and finish it up because that shit's real. That shit's good. It's not. It's hitting me better than I'm liking it. I'm in a better spot with Dungeon Meshi now than I was when I first started watching it, because the manga never clicked for me, and eventually gave up watching the manga or reading the manga. And the anime has. I have enjoyed the anime once I got further into it. Sunday, let's see. Last week says spent Sunday watching Combo Breaker, Grand Finals, and Wrestling Sunday a lot at the same time. Um, Tekken was hype. Spent a lot of today getting frustrated at Valheim. That sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes those things just get away from you and you end up real frustrated. And then you're like, oh, I'll do better next game. I'll do better next game. And it's just like, no, that doesn't happen. And it is an unfortunate thing where sometimes you're like, I don't know if I can do any better. I don't know if I can learn anything from this or do any better than I'm currently doing. Maybe I'm just not going to get this. And that's a shit place to be. Lord Crashes has been watching more 90s Columbo where they do some cool twists on the typical formula. There was also William Shatner with the shittiest mustache I've ever seen in a show or movie in a long time. Like he wanted to turn his mustache into a pencil mustache and fucked it up. Sometimes it gets away from you. Sometimes you're like, hey, can we get that like thinned out and trimmed? And you're like, oh yeah, we can do that. Oh, we fucked that up and there's no way to fix it. And we're going to try to fix it and make it worse. And then at some point, you should just shave it off and put a fake mustache on. That's my opinion. And sometimes you want to just cut your fucking losses. Is this right? There's no piece on there? Okay. I think this is right. This looks... There's a gap here that doesn't appear to be there. So I'm going to see if this fits. Does this fit? Okay, that doesn't fit. So something's wrong. Something's weird. I did something wrong here because there's a space here and there shouldn't be a space here. So now we get to figure out, what did Pat do wrong? Where did Pat go wrong? This is just 3 lines here. Yeah, that's just 3 lines. That's like that. That goes that. Blue. That looks right. Huh. You'd think I could do one of these without there being a problem, but you'd be wrong. Okay, that's on there. That goes on there. That goes on top of that. This all lines up just right. And then that goes there over that. These go there. And then this goes like this. Black on orange, or on yellow, I should say. Oh, here it is. I missed this step right here. These should all, there's a thing that goes on top of this. That's what it was. What had happened was I fucked up. Lord Crescent also got darker for one scene for no reason. Yeah, I don't know. Something happened with the mustaches. Weird. Aris fan says, lots of work around the house. Also, my usuals, Hearthstone and Disney Dreamlight Valley. I never got into that. Yeah, I just never did. I don't know. Tomorrow, friends, Power Wash Simulator. I will finally complete. The National Nightmare will be over. I will finally finish the Warhammer 40K, or Warhammer 40,000, DLC. I'm going to finish the DLC for that, or get damn close. I actually don't know what percentage I'm left on it, but we're in the last stage, and I'm going to do my best to finish that on tomorrow, on Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Catch it. We are almost done with this kit. I knew this would be a one-stream build, so we're just going to power through it. We could go right to 11. That's fine. Mary is not streaming tonight, as I said at the top of the stream. But we are going to go and watch the closing ceremonies for the Plastic Model Weekender. We're going to go raid Plamo Weekender, who are in the home stretch here, and they're going into their final after thing. They beat their previous record, which is awesome. Again, I did not participate this year. Actually, somebody dropped out that was supposed to stream today, and it was at a time I could have done it, because I believe it would have been a 2-hour shift. but I didn't have anything special to do for it. And then I didn't have any incentives, and I didn't tell you about it. Um, I basically said, like, hey, if nobody else steps up, call me, uh, and I'll figure it out. But I didn't necessarily want to do it just because I didn't prep. You wouldn't have known any of that. I didn't have anything, like, it's like, I guess I could start the next kit that I'm supposed to build, but like there's nothing exciting about the F91 high grade. Like there's nothing like amazing about that. I do have some cards left over from last year, some card packs to open, but yeah, it would have been weird to just jump in without any prep. Lord Crashton's still talking about 90s Columbo, George Hamilton, Dabney Coleman, Rip Torn, Faye Dunaway, William Shatner, Egg Bagley Jr., Burt Young, George Wendt, Barry Corbin, and Rue McClanahan. Hell yeah, Rue McClanahan. Columbo versus Burt Young was not a combo I expected. It was fantastic. That does sound very fun. So we're done with this build. I told you it would be done fast. We completed 2 kits today. We finished the model kit and built a whole ass Lego set. Thank you to Chris for this very cute EV, the sports car. Can we put the electric sports car? Can we put it? Yeah, we'll put them behind the wheel. One thing I think is fun is they designed this. They didn't design a place for this to hook up. There is no charging port on this build. It feels very odd. Now, that may be because this is only a 95-piece kit, but it feels weird that they didn't build like a spot for this to plug in on the side or the back of it. It's weird that, right? I don't know. I find that odd. The fact that it comes with the charging station, and then they didn't bother to build an adapter for the charging station on. I guess you could do like this, but that doesn't feel right. That doesn't feel like a proper place. Like there should, like on this side should have a place, or the back of this should have a place. I don't know. For a charger. It's weird it doesn't have one. But it's still fun. This is a fun little build. Thank you to Chris for picking this up off my wish list. I'm going to take a photo now here in the last couple of minutes. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream, and I already told you where we're going. We'll do that in a moment. But first, I want to just take a quick little photo of this so I got it done. Let's see. Come on. There we go. Yeah. All right. That was a fun little Lego set to put together. Take care of that later. And that is going to do it for tonight's stream. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to find some cool people doing some good stuff and go send them some love. And then I guess I'll post the thing up that I hadn't bothered to post today. We'll put that video up. I fucked up, and of course I'll just kind of remind myself later to do that and plug it in tomorrow. Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? It's not showing up on my followed channels. I follow Plamo Weekender. There it is. So yeah, we're going to raid Plastic Model Weekender. We're going to go hang out in the closing minutes of the event. So feel free to come along on this raid. Donate if you can. A lot of lovely folks there. And you would be benefiting a wonderful charity, which is the Cure Alzheimer's Fund, which is your money goes directly towards that. They don't take a cut. They don't take fees. They don't pay a CEO millions. They don't do big ticket dinners they spend money on. Your money goes into research to cure Alzheimer's. So feel free to come along on this raid. I will see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Goodbye.